All right. 10:39 p.m. Coming live from vacation. Don't know what I want to watch yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and hop over to the main screen while a couple people get in the lobby, maybe, while I load up some stuff and see what's going on tonight's baseball docket. I just watched the end of that Mets game. So I saw them pull that out. Now I'm just looking to see what games are in the book, what to look at. Definitely Giolito's start is going to stand out a little bit. He went 8 innings, I believe, tonight. Yeah, late night from the cabin. If anybody has any topics of games that have already ended tonight, send them my way. And if not, we'll do a little game surfing later of some of the live games before I get kicked off the stream for doing that. So we'll start with this Red Sox. This Red Sox win tonight against the Orioles. Bradish made his return, so it's interesting to watch that for a minute. Let's pop over to the player breakdowns on the starters because they each had a ton of punchies in this game. I can see over here by swings and misses, Bradish got 16 and Gio got 12. So here's Gio, who went 8 innings shutty tonight and who's been really rolling as of late. Gio, 43 four-seamers, 27 changeups, 22 sliders, and 2 deuces, curveballs. How's the velo looking? About standard. Movement, about standard. So I guess we'll have to watch that. Looks like he got a lot of whiffs on changeup. A couple on slider. Justin Wilson closed it out. Now Bradish got 7 swings on curveballs and 6 whiffs. That's impressive. 8 swings on slider and 5 whiffs. And that's what he's known for, is his breaking stuff. He's got really good breaking stuff. But also the velo was tremendous today, first game back, averaging 94.9 up to 97.8 on the sinker. Four-seam just a tick below that. And like I mentioned, the sliders and curveballs, even though he threw them sparingly in his 81 pitches, they were lethal in terms of whiffs in tonight's game. So, okay. All right. Let's go ahead and hop into that game from tonight. Orioles and Sox. And I think I'm actually going to start with Bradish. He has 10 strikeouts, so let's just watch the strikeouts, and then we'll see the homers and stuff. All right, Bregman, 3-pitch strikeouts. Let's watch it.
Alex Bregman, the Red Sox third baseman. Bregman takes a
97 in,
97.
middle, taken all the way.
Half.
Here's a slider.
With the adrenaline rushing through his veins, he's starting the game red hot. That slider.
And then another slider. This is going to be one of those whiffs. This is a huge slider.
Here's an 0-2. He got him with a slider.
That's a sweeper. That's a sweeper. 87-1, but negative 15.3 on the bend to the left. I mean, he made a really good hitter reach very uncomfortably for this pitch.
He got him with a slider.
All right, so that's 1K. And then he's going to get Duran here.
Hardest players in baseball to strike out just looked hapless. Now Jared Duran takes 98.
Still not sure that's a sinker, but that's nasty.
3-run homer yesterday has reached base 19
the slider
in a row.
Wow,
and he
look
takes
at that ball
the slider
break.
in the dirt here.
Cow.
Check the swing.
It's a ball, but look at this ball break.
In a row.
That's nasty. All right, sinker again.
In baseball. And that two-seamer slashed
Okay, so
away.
he goes away with the fastballs in with the slider. Here comes a four-seam. They're going up. That's too high.
Fastball sailed
Four-seam's got cut to it, huh? Geez, -7? No way. Has it always been this cutty? That's a crazy pitch. -7 at 96.9? That's ridiculous. All right, so there's a ball. Here's another slider. This guy's stuff is, he came back
his 11th pitch
with some stuff.
slider tight And it's
Pitch almost breaks too much. This was similar to what we were seeing yesterday with some of the accidental pitches by Schlittler. Yeah, it's fast and everything, but this ball starts even a little bit in, and it's an easy take because it's heading left in a hurry. All right, here's another four seam. Up in target.
It's 3-2 to Durant.
Really good pitch. Boring in on him. And then sinker, so this might be, oh, they're going to go sinker away here. Yeah, it ends up being an accidental front door sinker. So really, I thought they were going to set up in when I saw sinker flash up on the pitch type. I thought they were going to set up in to actually do what he ends up doing by accident, but they ended up going down and away. But he just accidentally pulls it a little bit, and it works. And the reason why this works is because, so the previous pitch is a four seam, and we'll check the metrics for the information here, right? So this four seam, 17.8 horizontal, so that's going, vertical, so that's going up, and negative 2.2, so that's going to the left. That means this ball is going to have slight cut, and you can see it in the pitch movement. If you look for it, it's there. See, this ball doesn't run back to the zone. It continues to cut ever so slightly in on Jaron's hands here, right? So that ball's cutting. Contrast that with the sinker, which is the next pitch. And before he throws it, we can look over here. The sinker has only 12 inches of vertical break, so less up, and 13.6 inches, but not negative. That means it's going to the right. So instead of this ball boring to the left, this ball is going to start in one location, and it's going to shift right towards the zone. So the previous fastball he sees is boring in on him at about 97, and then the second fastball he sees is going to run away from him at 97. And they both come out of an inside tunnel, so it's really hard for the hitter to identify this. So this is an accident, but a really, really, really good pitch.
The changeup at all last year in 2024.
He throws it.
Nasty. So that's why that works. So we'll check that out as we go. I mean, having a four seam that fast that cuts that much, it's actually kind of ridiculous. All right, what do we have? What do we have in the chat here, real quick, before I keep going? Yeah, I mean, he's coming out with some nasty pitch shapes, some outlier pitch shapes right away. Do you think you could be a big league pitcher in today's game with a fastball sub 85? Yeah, I mean, Tyler Rogers does it, but he throws underhand. Overhand, it would be really hard, really hard. You could do it. You'd have to have incredible command and multitude of pitch options. That would be my advice there. All right. Let's get back to. All right, let's watch the homer that Story hits. Let's see what happens here. It's a first pitch slider, so he gets clipped. This one doesn't have as much bite, but also he doesn't really step on this one. He lays this one in there. This is a get me over. And I used to run into this problem occasionally. You wanna go from get me over dumper status strikes to then nastier pitches as the at bat progresses. And sometimes you just get clipped on that pitch that really wasn't your best bolt. And that's what happens here. As we've noted, Bradish's slider has been more like 87, 88. This one comes in at 85. Also, it was breaking as much as 15 inches horizontal. This is only 8. So it doesn't really get there, you know. And if you watch the intent on the pitch, just watch his effort level. It looks a little down.
To watch from the moment surgery was
yeah, just try to place it in there. And Story was ready to swing, got a cookie, didn't miss it, homer. And I'm happy for Trevor. He's had a hell of a second half. He's been a big part of the turnaround. All right, so here's a strikeout of Rafaela. See how he uses sinkers in on righties. Not a terrible call, but we'll take it if you're pitcher. And then see, this is more like the good slider. Negative 15. I mean, that's gross. He throws that same pitch to Story. He's not clipping it. Another in sinker. I don't like the 0-2 in sinker. I feel like you're either, when you go 0-2 on an in sinker, like with this target, you got to remember 0-2, you got plenty of pitch, you got plenty of room to throw balls here, right? But if you're going in, where's your miss? Your miss on a sinker on a pitch that moves arm side is towards the hitter. So there's a chance if he dives, you might end up clipping him in the forearm, clipping him in the hip, and now you gave him a free base. If you miss the other direction, and I'll switch the color for that. If you miss the other direction, where does that end up? Right down the damn middle. So that's a little bit of a mistake. So now you're telling yourself you have a very small window to execute in. You got to like really get it right here. Now he might get there. He's that good of a pitcher, but to me, this is not a much margin for error situation. If it were me and what I learned to do in my career, instead of going, because I threw sinkers in on righties, but what I learned in my career, if I really wanted to go for the strikeout swinging, you just go four seam up here. Just go four seam up here. Even if he doesn't swing, that's going to reopen up other pitches like your curveball. Depending on where your miss is, slider comes back in. Now, also depending on the shape of your four seam being different than your sinker, now you can come back maybe with a backdoor sinker after that. But this pitch in here, like, you got to be perfect, or you risk hitting a guy or throwing it down the middle. So let's see what happens here.
2.
Misses a little bit middle, but it's 97, gets the foul ball. And then on 2 strikes, he finally goes to that four seam up away. And no shot. So he went to it a pitch later than I would have expected. But again, this is how the 2 fastballs, especially 2 with drastically different movements around a similar speed, can really mess you up at the plate. Rafaela saw sinker, slider, sinker. So the 2 fast pitches he saw were running towards him. Now he sees another fast pitch, but instead this ball has much more lift. Well, not much more lift. It has some more lift, and it cuts. Rather than sinks, it cuts. So plus you add that in with the location factor, and this is called getting your doors blown off. And then you come in and you're saying, oh, Poppy, that was a four seam. I hadn't seen one of those yet. So adios. All right, Narvaez. So now we'll start cooking a little bit quicker. We'll head to the final pitch and we'll work backwards if need be. He's going to get a called strike on a sinker. I would imagine this is an accident. A little bit of an accident. Also a really good catch by the catcher. I don't know if this is Adley, but he comes and beats this ball down.
Back to the 2-seamer, strike 3.
Let's see if we can watch the catcher here. Watch him come up with this ball. I don't think it was that smooth. It was pretty smooth. That's not Rushman. That's somebody else. That's Alex Jackson, maybe. But that's the point, is to catch the ball going up so it looks like you're already in the bottom of the zone. Ends up being an accidental perfect pitch. Now he's going to punch Roman on a sinker. So a lot of fastball strikeouts, actually, despite the fact that we saw in the data he's had a ton of whiff on his off speeds. All right, didn't mean to throw that there, but it beat him. So nothing to learn there, really. Now Duran. This one's going to be a curveball. He's got a great curveball, too. Power curveball, 85. And he can create some pretty vicious downward breaks because of how high his arm angle is. Look at that. Look at that release. Straight over the top. Boom. This is another good reason why guys who throw over the top sometimes are really good candidates to be starters. They usually tend to have pitches that can create reverse splits, like a cutting four seam or a curveball like this. Boom. Smell ya. Nice pitch. Now he's going to get Story on 3 pitches, so let's watch the whole at bat. Story homered on that first pitch slider the last time. So yeah, sinker in makes sense coming off of that. Beautifully executed. Tries to swing again at it, misses it. Now they're gonna pound him in again with another sinker. This time he beats it, but now I love this situation as a pitcher. He actually beat you to the spot, but he pulled the foul ball with authority, but it's like super foul. But also now you know where he's at timing wise. He's now ahead of your fastball. Ahead of your inside fastball. So a slow pitch running away from him that starts down the middle is probably going to have him out front. Let's see what he goes with. Oh, he's going to triple up with the sinker. Interesting choice. They decide to go backdoor variety, though. This is going to be a frozen pitch. If he gets this ball perfect in the lane, it's going to freeze him. That's just a perfect pitch. So in that case, he actually did see 3 pitches that broke the same direction. The difference is he switched sides of the plate and he threw a perfect spot. It's actually a pretty good take by Trevor. Like, I don't think you're going to do much with this pitch. But this is an absolute dot. Beautiful. So he's looking really good in his return. I think we have 2 more strikeouts to see. Narvaez, another called strikeout. Sinker, so this is going to be a backdoor sinker as well. Executing this pitch well. Yep, same pitch as before. Locks him up again. Really nice pitch. And then his last strikeouts, Jaron Duran, also on a sinker. Swinging.
through it and work through it.
So they're going up
so
with it.
He already told you guys he's not going to do anything crazy with them, but moments like
Kind
this,
of runs actually. Somehow Duran gets a little too scoopy here. I don't know, the bat, something about it. Late, bat laggy, I don't know. But Bradish looked really good.
He's not going
to get the win, but
moments like this, he'll let him have.
It's another guy. He comes off the IL. He's been out all year, and it looks like the stuff might have got even better. All right, let's head back over to this before we look at Gio. Can you talk about working pitch angles by working from either first base or third base side of the rubber? Do you base this on comfort pitch mix? Interesting with his plus breaking stuff. He works from the first base side of the rubber. Yes, I can talk about this. This is a good topic. Thank you. All right, so Trevor's story. We'll just back it up, and we'll use this as a reference point. So here's Kyle Bradish. This is the pitching rubber. Looks to me like he's on the left side of the rubber, first base side. Right, that's where the heel is. That's where I stood as well. And part of the reason why I did it is because when I went into my delivery, number one, your arm, when it comes out, is now somewhere close to the strike zone, right? Like, the hand is driving straight through the zone, right? Like, this hand it's hard to see from this angle, but the hand is cutting right through the middle of the zone, which gives you a little more margin for error with your hand stroke to just throw strikes. So a lot of times they'll move guys to that side of the rubber when A, they can't throw strikes, or B, they're so nasty that they don't need to create any type of special angle. They just need to throw the ball over the plate. This, especially a guy that's over the top. This is a Dave Duncan special. I remember there was a pitcher by the name of Todd Wellemeyer, who the Cardinals had when I was coming up. He was a Cub. He was a Cardinal. He threw very over the top sinkers. And basically, he had me line up behind Todd one time, and he said, check out the angle that he's creating where he can basically lay his arm right in the middle of the strike zone and pull straight down. And it's really beneficial for like 0-0 pitches or pitches where you have to get in the zone because your arm's coming straight through the zone, so the movement is only going to take it so far to one corner or the other. So that's reason number one. Reason number two that you would be on the first base side is because you throw some pitches with arm side movement, which means movement that's headed this direction towards the hitter. And if you have a pitch that moves that direction towards the hitter, you need to have some home plate to work with, or you're going to throw nothing but balls, right? So when the ball comes out of your hand and it starts on the outer third, you have all of the rest of the plate to work with to still throw a strike. But if you were on the third base side and your arm angle, instead of being over here, was like more all the way over here out of the zone, well, now you have no plate to work with. So as your ball trends in, there's no chance it's going to be a strike, right? And you're going to have a really hard time controlling that pitch, and you don't have enough plate to work with. So he throws a lot of sinkers as one of his fastballs, and I think that's part of the reason why he does that is to give himself more room. I think the second reason is because he wants to run pitches right off the outside corner that then break away. He throws hard enough with his breaking balls that he doesn't need to start them like way over here to then break them across the whole zone. He more so is looking to, I'll do this in red, is start stuff on the outer, like this third over, this whole third, and then run them this direction with more subtle movement. So basically everything that comes out of his hand is going to look like it starts in this red area, this outer third, and the sinker is going to slide in to the right, and like that cutting four seam and that slider and that curveball are all going to go to the left. So that's why Bradish does what he does, because it matches his arsenal. The other day we talked about Nolan McLean, and Nolan McLean is way over on the right side of the rubber. So he's standing, I guess I can just go pull up a Nolan McLean video. Who did he pitch against last? It was the Braves, right? So Braves and Metros. This is a good topic. This is a good. All right, and then we have McLean. So if you watch McLean, we'll put him up there with a righty because this is kind of how it drives home the point. We're going to go talk to the 3 Hall of Famers. Can we just get to the next pitch so I can see? Come on, guys. I don't want to see these dudes. All right, here we go. So McLean, if you notice where his foot is, It's way over here on the right side of the rubber. And when he strides slightly closed, but look where the hand is, right? The hand is starting way outside the zone. So every single pitch has to trend back towards the zone. Whether it's a fastball, whether it's a slider, whether it's a curveball, whether it's a changeup, it doesn't really matter. It has to head back that direction, right to left. Now this gives you a couple of advantages versus same-sided hitters right away. Number one, you're kind of throwing from behind the righty, so there's a bit of a fear factor that you're going to hit him. And if you can put that in a hitter's mind, all the better. But at the same time that you're putting the fear of that in the mind, everything, since it has to trend in the same direction out of the hand, it hides the shape of the pitch as well. So the fastball is going to go here, and then the other pitches are going to head that direction. They're going to deviate off of it, off of that line. So that's helping McLean create a tunnel with what he's got. His pitches don't have a lot of arm side movement, so he doesn't need any plate to work with. So that's why he doesn't start on the left side. Jesus fucking Christ. How am I not sharing the screen? I literally just did a whole thing. Did you guys see the Bradish stuff? I hope you saw the Bradish stuff. So what I was saying here, and I'll reiterate it because I'm a freaking idiot. So annoying.
Don't be so mean to yourself.
It's unbelievable. All right.
Okay.
I'm so annoyed. All right, so everything over here has to trend this direction, right? No matter what, it's got to head towards the plate. But that hides his pitch as well, because if everything has to trend that way, then it's hard to identify what is what until it approaches the plate. And what will end up happening is his off-speed pitches, which I'll show in blue, will start to deviate this way, right? In different directions that they're not really sure of. And what his changeup and his sinker will do is they'll head that way and they'll kind of peter out down here somewhere. So because his arsenal doesn't have a ton of pitches that move this direction, he can afford to be all the way over there and create a better angle for himself. That sets him up well for his arsenal. It will make it a little bit harder for him to dominate throwing fastballs for strikes to lefties. So if we pull up like a Matt Olson, now granted he does strike him out here, but I'm talking about fastballs inside. When you face opposite-handed hitters, like when you're a righty facing a lefty, it really behooves you to be able to dominate this part of the strike zone with fastballs. But because of this angle you're throwing at, you need to shove everything. See, that ball kind of wants to straighten out up and away, which is where guys want it. Now, granted, he misses this pitch, so I'm not using this pitch as an example. But my point is, it's a little harder to create a perfect angle to here. Any slight deviation and you'll overcook it inside, or you'll mess it up and throw it. I mean, that's a terrible drawing, but you'll mess it up and throw it down the middle. So it's a little bit of a bold strategy to stay over there versus lefties, but he can make it work because he has such good spin and he needs a lot of plate going right to left to keep his breaking balls onto the plate. As you can see by this curveball that strikes out Olson here, Nolan McLean's curveball moves like crazy. Right? But if he doesn't have all this plate to work with, like this ball runs so much that if it starts in the middle of the plate, this ball's hitting Matt Olson. So he needs all this plate to work with for his curveball and sweeper to be effective because he has that much break. So all he's doing is setting his angles up to allow his pitches to have the maximum amount of success. But this is a personal choice for every guy, and sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes it's really hard to decide because you have pitches that go both directions, and you're not sure what look you want to give. But a lot of times, the game will dictate this. If they're hitting you and they're seeing your pitches well, this is one adjustment that you can make. You can move to the right, you can move to the left and create a different angle and see how that affects how your pitches are being received. I played with a guy, Matt Bowman. I don't think he pitched today in that Orioles-Red Sox game. I didn't play with him, but I trained with him. And he went to an extreme third base side of the rubber scenario, a la Nolan McLean, with an even more extreme crossbody action. Just in a way to create a tougher angle. He felt like the hitters are just too comfortable. They're seeing the ball too well off him. He doesn't have elite velocity. But if he does that, he creates a better angle for himself. To your point in the chat, Ted Lilly would change the side of the rubber based on hitters. There are plenty of pitchers that do that. I used to do that all the way through 2015, 2016, where versus lefties I would be on the first base side so I could hit that inside corner, and versus righties I wanted to maintain that throwing behind them feeling and that intimidation factor, so I would go to the third base side. Eventually, I tried to move in, but sometimes I would try to move within one at bat. The other teams kind of caught that. That was kind of like a way of tipping without realizing I was tipping or thinking I was getting away with it when I wasn't. And I decided just to plant myself on that first base side. And one thing that allowed me to do is it allowed me to really perfect my backdoor two-seam fastball, which is some of those pitches that we saw Bradich use, where you go ball strike on the glove side. So that's why it worked for me. And that's a little bit about why people pitch on the first or third base side and what kind of goes into that decision. All right, so let's get in the chat here, and I'll try to remember when I switch back over to put back on the main screen. But that's frustrating, guys. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for everybody that's tuned in, by the way. I painted the mental picture. Okay, thanks, Aaron. When you started talking about third base versus first base side, the screen wasn't up. Everything else was good. Oh God, that was such a good thing, though. You know, I felt like we were cooking there. All right, do those changes impact your ability to pick off a player? Say if you go really far third base side, make a pick off to first, or is that negligible? That's negligible. Now pick holding runners, and I know because I suck at it and I did a deep dive on it. Picking runners comes down to having a fast pickoff move. So that's like 1 second or below. And then also not tipping that you're going to pick off, meaning the way you present to the hitter and the runner when you come set is the exact same with everything, with your ticks, with your head movements, with your body weight, with your energy, with your aura, literally everything. If it's the exact same for when you pitch home and when you pick off, you're in a great place because now they don't have anything to key off of. And because you have that excellent pickoff move that's a 1 second flat or below, they can't get too big of a lead or they'll get their ass picked off. So those two factors are huge for them not getting a good jump. And then obviously you want to be quick to the plate, but I do think those two initial factors are the biggest factors. I still got ran all over even when I could get down to a 1-3, but I was really bad at not tipping at giving away when I was picking home or pitching. And also my pickoff move, I could never get it quite to 1 flat. I could get it close in practice. I could get some 1 flats, but in the game, for whatever reason, I could never master that. I could never turn tight enough. I just was not quick enough. So those are the metrics that I was looking at to try to get better at that. And I don't think it really matters whether you're a third base or first base side. As long as you hit those benchmarks, you should be fine. All right, let's go back to the Red Sox Orioles game because the real guy I wanted to watch was actually Giolito. 8 innings, no runs in tonight's game. Real quick, I'll answer this question. Do you know if you have a pronation or supination bias? 100% supination bias. That's why I have spin talent in terms of sweepers, curveballs, cutters. Always had high spins on those. Because I had a lower slot, like a lower arm angle, I wasn't able to spin a fastball very well. Only when I altered my grip and raised my slot in 2021. Like if you go to my page here, I can actually show you this. In 2021, my slot was higher and my fastball had more of that perceived cut shape to it. But with my typical slot, so you can see 2021, I was 29 degrees. Every other year, I was 25 or 23. I felt like 25 was a really good arm angle for me. It kind of allowed me to accomplish a bunch of different pitch shapes. But it definitely took away a little bit from my ability to stay behind the ball. So I had to seam shift everything, whether that was a sweeper, whether that was a sinker, whether that was a changeup, even a 4-seam at times. I could shift it a little bit into a little bit better profile. But overall, supination bias, never been able to get inside the ball. Growing up my whole life trying to learn how to throw a changeup by getting inside it, turning it over, never worked for me. And that's why I literally didn't develop a changeup till I was like a reliable changeup till I was probably 35. So now, of course, kids can learn that a lot easier. They understand the difference between a supination biased pitcher and a pronation biased pitcher. and they can train accordingly. Man, look at those numbers. The kid was nasty. All right, anyway. We still have more in the chat. Do you think you can throw a good sweeper with a pronation bias? Very hard to. I do think you can. A lot of guys achieve it with more of like a spiked sweeper grip. But hard to. Harder. Yes, and Jonah Tong breakdown. As during that game, I'll be rocking the breakdown, hopefully, and then I could get that video up like the moment that game is over, so I don't get banged for copyright reasons. All right, now we're going to just go ahead and we're going to get back to Giolito, and we're going to speed watch this whole outing because he went 8 shutty, and he's been rolling.
Start the game. And he takes strike
Called strike down on Jackson Holiday for the first out. That's a 93-8 four-seamer. And again, if you're going to get a called strike looking on a four-seamer, it's almost always going to be down. They see the ball down. They think it's a changeup or something. It holds its line. Bam, smell you at the knees. Cheese at the knees. 19.9 inches of vert doesn't hurt either. That ball is going to look like it's going down, and it's going to resist that and kind of stay in. And I remember the first time that I felt that phenomenon with my catch partner was a pitcher named Rex Brothers that I used to play catch with in Colorado. And he would have me squat down to catch him in flat ground. And a lot of times it looked like he was going to one-hop me. And I was getting ready to cover my nuts. And then the ball would backspin and I would snag it before it even hit the ground. So I was like, oh, okay, like he has like a different kind of spin and carry. And that's when I started realizing that some guys could do that. Like, I mean, it's crazy that it took me that long to realize all that. Because before you just hear like heavy ball, invisible, all these terms that we used to use, but you don't really conceptualize it. But then when you're in the big leagues and you're trying to figure out the difference between one pitcher and another pitcher, sometimes you start to notice more and more things. Plus, like you're watching so much baseball that it kind of like your computer brain starts working on a different way. Okay, second out, Jeremiah Jackson, first pitch out on a fastball. We love first pitch outs. Come on, internet.
Batting average on that, and he'll throw it right about 50% of the time.
Jeremiah Jackson attacks
Nothing
the
to see
fastball.
there, just a little ground out, and then he's going to finish this first inning beautifully with a punch out of Gunner. See if it's high heater.
Yep. For 1-2.
High heater, beautiful.
Fastball at the top of the zone.
So Gio's rocking a great heater in this game. 19 inches of IVB. That's the upshoot factor. I think that's above average for him, but that's pretty damn good. And the velocity is good, 94.8, and he's throwing out of his little short arm, hide the ball tactic. All right, second inning, Colton Cowser. He's going to get him with the changeup, and he's got one of those Bugs Bunny changeups.
2 of the last 3 days.
Yeah,
Wicked
that's so
changeup by
sexy.
Giolito.
That's saucy. That's Jose Lima time-esque, or Marco Estrada. Like, it doesn't have to have a lot of drop because it has a lot of separation speed-wise. 81.4 off the 95. So we're talking 14, 15 miles an hour. He sells it really good. This ball just floats in there.
The last 3 days.
And you are way out in front of it, Mr. Cowser. So there's the first out of the second. Second out is our Phenom Basayo. He's going to get him with the changeup.
Left-handers.
This is one of those guys that I think even if you're sitting on changeup, it might be hard to stay back on it when he's throwing it right. And that's what happens there. Asilo can't stay back on it. Home run in a silo, but we don't play in a silo, so you're out. 2 outs. And then Kobe Mayo.
Right in front
Going
of
to ground out here.
3-1,
so challenge heater gets it down. And David Hamilton, nice play. So 2 perfect innings. Now Dylan Beavers, he's going to get called strike 3 on a fastball. Let's see if this one's down. High target.
Takes a call, third strike.
Beavers has already, like I watched like the first week or 2 of his at-bats. And this has already stood out. He doesn't swing at the outside corner. Reminds me of a young Kevin Biggio, where he's like, I just don't swing away. And that pitch is fully in there. And he just doesn't even consider swinging at it. So that's weird. All right. Machine with the first pitch out. Vimael Machine.
Vimael Machine to left field. That ball is rocketed.
Oh, good defensive algorithm. Had Duran standing in the right spot.
For the Oriole third.
Come on. And then, okay, he's finally going to give up a hit to Alex Jackson. Let's see what he gets a hit on. Fastball. 0-2 fastball. Probably leaves it middle, trying to go up.
Alex
just
Jackson
down and
to
away,
right
doesn't get it
field.
up. So poor execution leads to a 2-strike hit, and then he'll finish out the third, getting out Jackson Holiday on a first pitch slider. Interesting.
Barrel on ball
Not a
if he
lot of
does.
right on left sliders from Gio. Little back door,
Holiday
beautiful.
rolls the
Gets
next
it
pitch
the
right
roll
to
over
low
right
at
to
first,
Nate
and that'll be
Lau.
that.
So that's the third inning. Now Jeremiah Jackson again. Velocity's down a little bit,
Delaware.
but he's just getting
We got
going
some
here in the
stuff
inning.
too. Jeremiah Jackson.
Thank you
over to
very much
second.
for swinging at that.
I got to.
You're out, and then he's going to get Gunner for the second time. This time on a slider. Let's see if he gets it back
All the other
foot.
Birdland members really appreciate everyone's support, kind
Nope,
words.
accidental up and away slider. And actually, what's funny here, because maybe at home you think you meant to do this if you
All the other Birdland members
aren't on the inside of this type of stuff, but this is obviously not what he meant to do. And you can actually see Gio is not happy with the execution of the pitch despite the strikeout, which is a good sign that he is process-oriented rather than results-oriented and staying in the mindset of holding himself to a extremely high standard. Now, if the internet would work, you can see his disgust. Here it goes. God damn it. See? Not happy? That's a good sign, though. And then he's going to get Kowser on a changeup. Let's see this Bugs Bunny.
Here's a 3-2.
Ooh, the high changeup.
Third strike with a high changeup. 6K.
That's tough because high pitches, you're thinking he's going fastball up and you think you're having a good take.
3-2.
And this ball just kind of parachutes
Yeah,
down
it's
into
a
the
call.
zone. So that's him through 4. Now Basayo again. This time with a fastball.
No lay off in the big leagues. Something Basayo's still learning to do.
Oh, beautiful
The count
location.
deep here. Jams a
Hits it right to
fastball
Bregg.
over to
1 out. Kobe Mayo. Kobe Mayonnaise.
Bullpen is elite.
Right on right changeup.
Mayo.
Oh, actually
Broke
smacks
his
that
bat.
ball, but
Players
again,
want
great
to
algorithm.
Duran was
Has Duran
playing
on the pull side
dramatic
line.
with the pull side.
Okay. Beautiful. 2 outs. There's Beavers. Let's see what he hits.
Times on 3-2 count so far tonight.
The man with the peculiar
He's
swing.
throwing changeup. Not this time.
It was a fastball.
You know what? I had a
Absolutely
feeling
ripped
that
to
it was
deep
designed to
right.
hit the high pitch.
Off
I
the
really
wall
did.
and
There's
barehanded
something
by
about it that
Anthony.
feels that way, and he was all over this high
Beavers just
fastball.
barely-
Good swing. So it's a 3-2 challenge heater with 2
He's
outs.
throwing a changeup. Not this time.
Pretty good
It was a
pitch, but
fastball.
really good swing. I
Absolutely
actually think that's where
ripped
the
to
bat,
deep
that's where it
right.
plays. So 105 off the bat there from Beavers. And then Machine is going to get out again to left field. He lined out to left on his first pitch fastball his first
No, you
time.
had the lead. I had -3 from the other day.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
no. He's
Machine
ahead
to
of the
right field.
changeup.
Put another red one on
And
the
right
screen, I
out, fly
did.
out to Roman. So that's into the 5th. Then we go to the 6th. It's actually going to be the first leadoff hit. 0-2 slider. So he's been ahead in the count to everyone, which,
It's a little tapper to
spoiler
third.
alert, really good strategy on the mound is
Get
to be
there.
0-1-0-2.
Fielded cleanly.
Gets beat by an infield hit. No big deal. So let's see how he responds to that. Jackson Holiday fly out. So this is 3rd time through order now.
I think 250 with an
Some
836 OPS and really good behind the
I
plate.
say he calls a good game. He
Yep,
calls
just gets
a
him out
really
front.
Good game.
Holiday skies one to
95-8,
center,
not
and
quite
0-2
enough.
change.
1 out there. Oh, here's another hit. 1-2 slider. Again, though, 1-2, 0-2 on everybody.
Jackson left
And
side,
you know
that's
what?
gonna be
It's not a good
guided
contact. He
through.
just rolled it through the hole. So he's still rolling despite 2 guys getting hits. And now he's going to get Gunner, I believe, for the 3rd time. Is this a hat trick for Gunner? This time with
Jackson
the fastball
and
looking.
Jackson aboard.
That's a bad call.
Called 3rd strike.
But, hey, you take it. And then Kowser. Change up, change up.
Changeups to lefties, more slider than curveball. Changeup grounded pretty well.
It's a
but
huge
one
out in
off
this
to
game. That
first
was
and
when they
low.
were still threatening, only down
Anderson,
2.
Kowser,
So Lucas is through 6. Now 7th and the 8th coming up. First pitch out on a changeup to start the 7th. That's beautiful.
Samuel Basayo with a one-hopper to
Right at
second.
Hamilton. You see how that changeup just floats in there, but they can't help but be out front on it. Now a 2 pitch out to Mayo. This one's going to be a slider.
Against the left-handers.
Using the slider more effective than I'm
Just
used
a
to
hard-
seeing.
you
I
can
think
see
it's an
why he'd be
important
tough
thing
to
for
pick
him
up
to
the
have a
baseball
3rd pitch
because of
that's
his arm
effective.
strength. Like,
Now, I
you
can't
just
just go
don't see
fastball
it till the
changeup
last
all the
moment.
time.
And he's got
It's not
2
a, it's
outs
not
on
an
3
amazing
pitches
slider by
here
any
in the
sort of
7th.
metric, but If he executes it and picks his spots, it can be effective. And then he finishes the 7th, so 1, 2, 3, 7th on like 4 pitches, 4 or 5 pitches or something.
Coming in.
He's gonna get beavers here.
11 innings pitched when this game began.
You know, I would think this was a better pitch to hit than the pitch that he doubled on before. But again, it looks like his swing is built to hit up. His pitch is in the medium band, and all he can do is just roll it over.
Innings pitched when this game began.
So don't throw beavers up. All right, and then the 8th inning. So this is his last inning. Sick to go 8 innings
Only
nowadays.
4 2/3, 2 of his last 3 starts. 7 tonight. Machine to
Slider middle, pretty well hit. And now we're frozen, but we don't need that. We don't need to see that. And then Alex Jackson. Fly out on a 4-seam.
She didn't get engaged by accident. No. Okay.
Perfect location,
Alex
jams him.
Jackson high into left.
92 off the bat, that's not going anywhere. Then he does walk Jackson Holiday, and then he gets his last out. Sucks, 11 pitch out, 11 pitch at bat. 11 pitch at bat to end your night to get you over 100 pitches. But he does win this battle on a 3-2 changeup. 4-seam slider, changeup. Wow, what a pitch mix in this at bat. Gets him with the changeup, and he's juiced. 8 zeros. God, what a feeling. Go back to that 4 seasons, hang out on that balcony tonight, and talk ball with the boys. All right, third base, pitcher side. Let's watch this last pitch from Gio. Yeah, fired up. I love it. Great game. So, huge game right there. Giolito's had a hell of a second half. That's a big development for the Red Sox. Now they have a couple starters that are starting to round into form. Besides Crochet. Bayo's been really good. Gio's been good. Is Sandoval coming back? Anybody know? He could be a piece, but it feels like he's kind of set back now. All right, what else we got here in the chat, and then we'll see what to go to. Great to see Lucas having a good year. That's right. Super nasty. I do think that he does something to kill it with the back leg. Now, people talk about so many different cues. There's a question by Jaden in the chat. Does he kill his drive leg? How does he take so much speed off his changeup? That's the question, right? So, let's see if we can find some stuff here. Let's go early in the game when he was humming it in there. Jackson Holiday called that on strikes. Looking for a fast fastball. So here's a fast fastball. Let's watch Lucas from the side on a fastball. I mean, you can see he's a big dude who throws kind of abnormal with this tiny little arm action. And he's not as strong on that front leg as he needs to now. He's had a lot of knee issues, actually, and left leg issues. So I think this is an effort to stay healthy. And it's actually crazy he can still throw 95 like this. But you can see the intent's there. So that's the intent on the fastball. Now let's find a changeup. I think he threw a changeup in this at bat. Yep, let's find a changeup, and let's see what the intent looks like on the changeup versus the fastball. Not quite as much finish. I don't remember that he told me he had any sort of cue with the back leg. But you can see he just doesn't finish the pitches hard. Everything's about the same all the way up into release, but clearly a lighter finish. So maybe that's a little too late for the hitter to see. I don't know. That was never part of my game, was trying to sell a changeup with my body or anything like that. All right. So he dead legs it. Okay. Yeah, Bueller's now in the pen. Dustin May. I know that Tool guy, or Toll, however you say that name, he's a factor possibly for the Red Sox. Harrison, who they got in the trade from the Giants, for Devers should be a factor as well. Yeah, the overlay. I mean, there's probably a way. It's probably a fairly easy way, but I'm illiterate when it comes to that. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Bello, Geo, Crochet. Hopefully they can find one more to pop before that's over. Whitlock's not going to go back to the rotation, though. Whitlock's been in the bullpen shoving all year, and I think he's consistent out there. Now, the bullpen's shaping up nice because you got Chapman, who's been absolutely unreal. You got Whitlock. He's really, really good. Weisert's been quietly good this year. Matz has been very good. Hicks has got all the talent, but I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. Bernardino's been solid. He's a lefty matchup guy. And honestly, Justin Wilson, who I wasn't sure how that was going to go, has been pretty good. And maybe you catch lightning and bottom with Buehler. So they've stockpiled enough arms. Maybe that Tool guy gets called up. Oh, yes, Slayton. Slayton would be a huge addition. Slayton's disgusting. Slayton's got one of the better curveballs in the big leagues and a power arsenal 4-seam cutter. All right, so that's it for that game. Maybe somebody in the chat wants to point me in the right direction for what we should look at now. What I need to see. Looks like Milwaukee eked out this game. The Mets eked out their game versus the Phillies. Pirates, who cares? Rangers, it sucks that Evaldi's hurt. That's all I know about that. Toronto ended up losing this game. They were winning. So they must have had a little bit of a bullpen sitch. What happened in this game? Who gave it up? Jeff Hoffman, my God. 2 home runs. Blue Jays Twins. He's had a weird year, Hoffman. Done a lot of things well, but giving up too many runs, right, at the end of the day. Mickey Gasper's going to clip him for his first home run of the season, maybe ever. Oh,
this is hit high and deep
tie
to
game.
right field, and it's gone.
What's that about?
Gasper
104.5
turns
at
on
33. And then Matt Wallner, who's been hot. We watched him hit homers yesterday. I'm assuming this pitch isn't up in the zone. Let's see. Yeah, no. Wallner loves it down.
Right center field.
Ball's crushed. So this is a big loss for the Jays. They were winning this game. They lose. Yankees win. Red Sox win. So those teams are creeping back in, right? A little bit in the standings. Let's see where we're at after that game. Regular season. I don't want wild card. I want division. Yeah, so Toronto now 4 up, and 4.5 up. So it's getting a little tighter. How did Heel do tonight? I haven't really looked yet. Not important, but Junior Cananero's been nasty. We watched him hit some homers last night on last night's late night stream. Yeah, Wallner's been hot. Okay, let's look up the Yankee game because I don't have any idea how that went. I know they won, but what does that really mean, you know? All right, Yankees. Luis Heel, 12 swings and misses. First we'll do box score. Just so I can see that real quick. Luis Heel, 5 innings. 5 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. So we all know what it is with him. He's nasty. That's too many walks. So he probably walked a little bit of a tightrope. And then it looks like the bullpen actually came in and shoved big time. Fernando Cruz is a huge addition. Let's watch Fernando Cruz come back. So it's Yankees and Nationals. I watched Fernando Cruz strike out 2 guys. Single hit by pitch, so that's not a great thing. But this guy's freaking gross with the splitter. Yep, here it comes.
Nobody out, 3-1 Yankee lead, top of the 6th.
Goodbye. Of course it freezes as soon as we get to the contact point, but this guy's splitter is genuinely probably the best in the game. I think it's up there with Senga. Come on, internet.
The 2-2, swing and a
It's nasty. And it kind of cuts. It's like a little unpredictable. I mean, that's 0-0, so it's like a bullet slider, but 81. So it's like he's throwing like a gyro breaking split. Kind of squeaks out and just kind of drops straight down. Sometimes it'll cut a little bit. Sometimes it'll fade a little bit. Sometimes it plummets straight down. And I think that actually you can actually see that on Fernando Cruz's pitch plot. Yeah, I mean a little bit. Some of them get a little bit to the glove side. That's these turquoise or whatever that color is, blue bubbles. Most of them are to the arm side slightly. That's actually a pretty huge range of movement for one pitch. So it's kind of nice. It's like it plays like a knuckleball in a way. But the splitter, I mean, dude, the splitter's unreal, and it's been unreal for a while. This year, the split's got a 7 run value. Last year, 10. The year before that, 9. And like, thank God he stopped throwing the cutter because that pitch wasn't working in Cincinnati. But look at the split. Look at the whiff percentage. 60.2%. That's insane. And then in 2024, it was the same. 59.6 and 56.7 the year before. So more than half the time you swing at it, you miss it. So Fernando Cruz, huge guy to come back for the Yankees. And that's what I'm taking away probably the most from this game. Now, Duvall, obviously 1 inning. All good. Bednar, 1 clean inning. All good. 2 strikeouts. Offensively, another 0 for Volpe. Damn. Stanton, 5 ribs. I know he hit a homer. Bases clearing double. I don't know. It's getting tight. I do think all 3 of those teams are quality teams. Yankees, Red Sox, Blue Jays. I really do. They all have their different issues. But they're all pretty quality in terms of like what they do well. They do very well. Yankees, it's club balls a couple days a week, hit 1 million homers. They also have a couple good pitchers with strikeouts. You want to see G's? You want to see G? Yeah, we can see Big G. Why not? Big G. So first we'll watch the double. Let's watch the whole at-bats, and then we'll watch the homer. Versus Mackenzie Gore. Nasty pitcher. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Nowhere to put Stanton. Let's see how he works this at-bat. High heater. You got to love it. Stanton doesn't even move out of the box. Next pitch. Low heater again. I'm just ready to hit. I'm already addressing you before you even catch the ball. 2-0. It's going to be a gangster hack. Ooh, baby. What a gangster hack. But he fouls it back. He's a little late. Yeah, you're not going to throw a 4th heater in a row. Cutter in. Easy take. Nowhere to put me. Here's a fastball. He's getting closer. He does not on it yet, but he's getting closer. Yeah, I don't think I would throw him a fastball again. Curveball. Oh. Stoparlo, or whatever they call it, whatever Sterling used to say. This is interesting. This is just a curveball. He's definitely on fastball timing in this at-bat, but he spit on a couple chase pitches, and then this pitch pops up. And he's able to kind of just wait on it and serve it out there. If he was on time, he hits that ball over the bullpen. Because 101.6 is like a mishit ball for Stanton. As funny as that is. But it's true. CG from the side. You'll see he waits on it just a touch. Not too much, actually. Does a good job, though, getting that point of contact out front. Kind of riding it out, getting low on that back leg a little bit. And this guy's just locked in right now. Not the guy you want to face with 2 outs and nowhere to put him. Oh, I love it. We're in the chat. Giancarlo, no, non si puedo des Stoparlo. So that's nice. And then let's watch the dinger off Ribalta. Orlando Ribalta. Oh, just some other guy I've never heard of throwing 97 in the show. Sinker. Swings over that.
Are slow to the plate. There goes Bellinger. He stumbled and stopped. Otherwise, he might have kept going.
Slider away. Change up. Spits on a pretty good change up down.
Here's the 2-2. And
Sinker in. Good job holding up. Gets himself to the 3-2. Let's see if this is a hanging slider or what.
Feels like something that needs to be mentioned.
It's actually a pretty good slider down bottom, but this time he was a little more on time. And that's what it looks like when he's actually on time. 112.7, 451 feet. It's just murdered.
It just feels like something that needs to be mentioned.
He's been doing this for a long time. Just hitting balls out of sight. Yeah, he knows it when he got it. Beautiful. All right, so there's the Stanton stuff. We'll do a little bit more. I'm tired, but we'll do a little bit more. What do we got here? Yeah, everybody's talking about the Yankees, whether they're cooked or not. I mean, yeah, I mean it's a fair enough question whether they can play in tight games. We know they can beat the brakes off teams, but when the temperature gets turned up a little bit, are they going to execute at a high level? Are they going to get enough guys on base when they face a true stud pitcher, or are they just going to strike out a lot? So I think it's all fair, but let's not forget the Highland talent that they do have. When you really look at the lineup 1 through 9, it's definitely up there. Mets game. What do we want to see in the Mets game? I watched some of it. Wasn't that interesting. Maybe the Yankees can pull a rabbit out of their you-know-whats. Maybe, but it's been a while. I mean, we're hoping to pull rabbits. That's a Rocky strategy. All right, let's go back to the. Let's go back to here. Another good outing by Kershaw, but I feel like it's only the 5th inning. Too early to jump the gun on that. Don't care about Cleveland versus Tampa tonight. Atlanta, Miami, whatever. Mets, Phillies, I agree. That's probably the next most important game that's happened. Was there anything crazy that happened in this game? I mean, I know Bader ended up tying it up off of Helsley. It just can't get worse for him right now. Where's Helsley at ERA now? 4.43. I don't think he's ever been anywhere close to that. But they end up walking off Duran. They got 4 hits in the 9th to beat Duran. Guess we could watch that. I don't know. What else we got? Is there any homers? Just the Bader homer. All right, let's watch the Bader homer. And then we'll watch the Mets win it in the 9th. Mets and the Phillies. Helsley, 28 pitches. Watch this whole at bat versus Bader. He couldn't really, just couldn't finish him off. 96 up.
He's 8 for 13 against
97 up, gets it.
We opened up on the road.
Slider down, coming.
I should say. 1-1.
Nope, slider up, so gets that. In the driver's seat. 1-2. Should be able to put him away here.
First and 1 out. 1-2 to Bader. Popped up.
I mean, that's a hanger right there. Throws that middle. Bader's not on it, but hits it foul. So now he's like, I'm going to correct it. I'm going to get the slider down. Gets it down, but non-competitive down, so it goes to 2-2. And you could see it. You could see it in his face. He was getting a little stressed.
2-2.
In this inning about not putting guys away, even like this pitch too. He's used to getting a swing on this. That's a good height for pretty far in. Bader triggers a little, but really good take. I mean, he sees 3 sliders in a row.
This is down with the slider again. 3-2.
Honestly, I don't know. I think I would have maybe switched it up, and that's what they do. They go fastball, but he throws it right down the middle.
And a high fly ball deep down the
Bader beats him to the spot. 108.9, so 109 at 40. Gets it down the line, though. See you later. That tied it up. Damn. Baderade coming through versus the Metros for the Phillies. Bader's got a little bit of a flair for the dramatic, I'll say that. Bigger the game, the better he seems to play. So there's that, and then Diaz came in and did great. Strikeout, 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 ground out. We can watch the strikeout pitches real quick. And before we get to how they won it.
8th pitch of the at-bat from Diaz to Marsh. And he struck him out.
Smelia. Trey Turner. He goes right through all the guys, too. That was Schwarber. Now here's Trey.
1-2. Struck him out.
Goodbye. Now here. Oh, wait. No, that was Marsh. Then Trey. Now here's Schwarber.
Least 5 runs, 11 hits. The Mets 5 runs and 8 hits. And Schwarber
Doors. And then here's Harper. So this is, to me, this is the player of the game for the Mets tonight.
Struck him
The vibes were not good after the Phillies came back, but Edwin came in and restored order. He gets 5 outs in this game.
Who has already struck out 4 times tonight. He makes contact
4 by the strikeout to set up them. Yep, and it actually makes a really good PFP, which is not normal for Edwin either, so really nice job there. And then that leads to them going with 4 knocks off Duran. First, my homie Marte with a single up the middle. Smacks it up the middle, very nice. I actually thought he was going to go for 2 here, but Bader did a good job getting to that ball. Got it in. And then Pete on a first pitch fastball gets the head out. It's a splitter, I guess, but it's 97, so I got to consider that. Splinker, I don't know, whatever, gets the head out. So that's a hit. And then Beatty, who looked like he was in trouble in this at-bat, just gets this Texas Leaguer on a 102.2 mile-an-hour fastball. Drops it in there. Homeless Brandon Marsh couldn't get to that. So that's bases loaded. And then Nimmo, who got to 2-0, and was in the driver's seat, he could sit dead red. When he goes to his short stroke like that, Nimmo's really good shooting ball the other way. And that's a walk-off winner. You're not going to see 4 hits in a row off a closer too often, but you see it there. And you know what was funny about that is I was actually quipping to my wife a little bit because she was like, you know, well, he lost the game. You know, they could have gotten him out of there. And I said, yeah, he did lose the game. They could have got him out of there. I agree with all those things. But I said, you know what's nice for him? What's nice for him is he gave up 4 hits to start off his outing, and he walked out of that game with 1 earned run. And then the game just got to end. If that was earlier in the game and he was a non-closer, he could have given up 3, 4. Who knows how many runs he could have given up in that game, and then his ERA would have been totally skewed. So sometimes being in a spot where there's a limit to how much failure you can have can actually save you when an inning goes off the rails. And that's kind of what happened for Duran there. Because, you know, one run never hurts you out of the bullpen, but a crooked number will. All right, we got some stuff in the chat. Yeah, we watched Edwin. Padres Mariners playing a banger right now. I would love to maybe check in on that. I think I might have to watch Kershaw as the last thing because he's been rolling. Clayton's been rolling again. Is Cal Raleigh the MVP? I'd say it is damn close between him and Judge, but Raleigh might be the guy. He might be the guy. You got to take him serious. They pulled Kersh 5 innings, 72 pitches, retired the last 14 in a row, so that might be worth watching. He's just really good at getting guys out. I don't know what to say. Like, he always finds a way. He's got nothing left really velocity wise. So it's interesting. Let's go to the player breakdowns on Kershaw for today, and let's see kind of what he did. How did he do it? The great Clayton Kershaw. So he went 32 sliders, 19 fastballs, 16 curves, 5 splitters. So he only threw 26% fastballs tonight, which is very low. And he averaged 88.1 on the fastball. So that's possibly a career low. His fastest fastballs, fastest pitch of the night, 89.5. This is approaching, unpitchable territory velocity-wise. But when you're arguably the best pitcher of your generation, this can work. Because you do everything else on another level, right? In terms of whiffs, got 5 on the slider, 3 on the curve, 2 on the split, which is weird because the split's not a pitch he throws a lot. Movement numbers all look fine. Nothing to see there, so let's just go through it. Kershaw versus the Reds. Cincinnati Reds, LA Dodgers. Actually gives up a double to lead off this game.
Awful lot of Kershaw this year. You know he's an ace of a staff.
Over third and down the line, and a base hit for Steer.
So Spencer Steer sticks the bat out on that.
Here's the throw from
Gonna lead off double, but then he's gonna go strikeout of Noelvi Marti.
Had his first 3
bringing the noise at 89.5.
And he strikes out
up
against
top,
Kershaw.
and again, Kersh has an interesting moving fastball. 17.2. That's pretty good lift, but also right around 0 on the horizontal break. So that's that slight cut action to his fastball. Makes it a little unique, especially from the left side. Actually got himself in a little bit of trouble early in this game. Ellie De La Cruz
Pop right away. Into left field
gets a
goes
hit.
De La Cruz for a base hit.
Fastball in.
Third is Steer.
So that's first and third, 1 out. And then Miguel Andujar, former teammate for a minute, before he got Wally pipped by Gio
Second highest
Rochelle.
average in the majors against lefties. There goes De La Cruz, a chopper to third.
Slider.
Hernandez has it.
Okay, so that drives in the run.
The Reds have their first run of this
He
series.
does get the out. And then Austin Hayes is going to get out on a curveball. It's the first out we've seen on a curveball.
Curve, slap to center field.
Slaps it out
Pages
there,
runs it
and
down and
Pages
ends
is
the
in.
inning.
So that's the first, and I believe after that he rolls. So second inning, Trevino.
These guys can pitch, but they just can't score. Usually it's backwards with
Slider
those guys.
down, little
Been an
weak grounder.
overcorrection. Rolled it to second, easy
One out
one.
there. Key Brian Hayes. Slider. So it's like the slider
For their starters.
for Kershaw, not only does it get whiff, it gets weak contact, it
Hayes
gets ground ball, it gets
to
guys
bats.
swinging at pitches below the zone and trying to do too much and pulling balls against him. I've already seen a couple groundouts on sliders from righties. Then he's going to get Espinal on a fly out, also on a slider. So
We
collecting a
love
lot of
throwing
outs on his
left side.
patented pitch. Guys just mishit
big
it
deal
left
for
and right.
Paez in
Santiago
center
Espinal, can
field.
of corn. Third inning, Matt McClain. He's also going to fly out on, you guessed it,
3 out of his
Slider.
last 28 and 219 for the year. He flies this
Kinda
ball
jams
to center
himself on
field.
that.
Andy Pages.
Another can of
Back
corn.
pedals. One gone.
Now here comes some strikeouts. Spencer Steer, so he goes second time through. Here comes a splitter.
There's 2-2 to Steer.
Wow,
Got a chase
Kershaw
for strike
splitter.
3. That was the split.
Very rare
Speaking of
strikeout. The man's got 3,000 strikeouts. I bet he's got less than 20 on changeups or splitters. But here's one.
There's 2-2 to Steer. Got a chase for
I mean,
strike
they just don't
3.
even know
That
what they're swinging at because that's such a weird pitch for him. Now he's going to get Marte for the second time on a fastball, probably
Now
up.
I'm opening myself up. I'm more susceptible to that one hit.
strikes him out with the high fastball.
Just above the zone with a little cut to it. They swing under it. And then Ellie De La Cruz, curveball, probably in the dirt. Let's see how he
Gonna get that for
executes.
Kersh.
Oh, it's just 2 speeds down, so he's way out in front on that. Nasty. Now, Miguel Andujar here in the 4th inning. Going to get him out on a curveball.
Over in front, and you swing and miss.
And Duhar to
That's
bats.
the beauty of the 2-speed down pitch, 70-mile-an-hour curveball. That's going to protect his 88-mile-an-hour fastball, make it look a little faster than it is. But 70.5, that's a very slow pitch. Gets guys out in the front foot, and they kind of lose their balance. That's what you saw there with Andujar. And then we got more strikeouts. Austin Hayes, 10-pitch strikeout. Get him with, you guessed it, a slider.
He wins the battle.
It's kind of a backdoor that went down the middle.
But his slider.
Good battle. Hayes comes up empty. Now Trevino. Curveball coming.
Kershaw gets
Yep, gets him
another
out
K.
front with the slow
A curve
bender.
is-
And Kershaw's absolutely rolling. And when he's rolling, he's 0-1, 0-2 on everybody. I pitched the half inning before he completed his no-hitter
Started
against the
with a curve,
Rockies.
popped into left.
Every time we were in LA,
He's got it.
he pretty much shut us down my whole entire time. Maybe we beat him once or twice in LA. Beat him a few times in Coors, but I'm very used to him just rolling through lineups being 0-1, 0-2 on everybody, and that's what he was
Against the
tonight.
Cardinals back on June 8th.
This is his last out of the night. Another curveball. Gets Santiago Espinal out on the front foot just enough to not drive this ball further than that. 99-4, fly out. 14 in a row to finish this outing. Another outstanding outing for Clayton. Really is. I don't think they have his outing in here yet, but they definitely don't. But coming into this outing, he was working with a 3.13 in 83 innings, so you can make that 88 in a third now with, he only gave up 1 run, so it'll be like a 3.08 or something like that, 3.09, but kind of crazy, and to throw 88 and be pretty much, you know, completely devoid of the pitches you used to have and the speed and a lot of the effectiveness you had because of that speed. He's still doing great. He's still killing it. I mean, he's only striking out 5.6 per 9, but he just gets himself in a great count all the time, and so he dictates everything, and it's no surprise. He's truly one of the best pitchers of all time. That's why he has italics next to his career ERA. Italics mean player is active leader. So he's the active leader in ERA at 2.52. Just spectacular. Spectacular pitcher. All right, so there's Kirsch from tonight. Do we have anything else really quick? M's Padres game. Yeah, I know. I don't have enough bandwidth to do to go on playback tonight, unfortunately. But what is welcome newbie hit mile high? Oh, that's a newbie. All right, what's up? Hit M high. I don't know. Let's go real quick. See if there's anything really quick to look at. If not, I'm shutting it down. I'm tired. I gotta have more fun tomorrow. All right. You're right. That game's tight. Dodger game's tight. That's a big game for the Reds. Giants are winning, so Verlander's probably in line for that win as of now. Tigers and A's are 5-5. Out of curiosity, let's click on that game if I can. We're having a little bit of a connectivity issue here. When is next stream? It'll probably be again tomorrow night. Since I'm on vacation, I'm doing nighttime streams right now. It's too much to do it in the mornings. When I'm home, I'll be back doing them in the mornings, but it'll be another. I've been doing them a little bit after 10 o'clock, so the East Coast games are mostly over, and then I can kind of look at them. I don't know what's going on here. I want to look at Verlander. Maybe I can get this to work. All right, here we go. Let's see if he did anything in this game. Box score-wise, reset options. Verlander, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 101 pitches. So in line for the win. You know, good outing. Better outing than he's been having. But, you know, just another ho-hum outing. It is against the Cubs, one of the best offenses. So, I don't know. I'm not going to watch that. But, yeah, curious to see how he was doing. Up to 95.7. So that's good for the old boy. All right, let's do probable pitchers coming up for tomorrow. Obviously, there's more games to come tonight still, but let's do probable pitchers. All right, Cavalli versus Fried. Yankees going for the sweep. 105 at Yankee Stadium. Drew Rasmussen, Slade Ciccone from Cleveland. Rays Guardians. Braves Marlins, Joey Wentz, Ryan Gusto. Padres Mariners will continue this pretty fun series. Darvish and Wu. I like that. Red Sox O's, Bayo and Enns, who I believe came over from the Tigers. Bayo's been very good. Twins and Jays, TBA for the Twins. Lauer, outstanding for the Jays. He'll be on the mound. Phillies Mets. So Taijuan Walker gets to go up against his old team, the Mets, who have had his number a little bit since he's been a Philly. And then Nolan McLean gets his first taste of this rivalry as the Mets are actually going for a third in a row versus the Phillies. That would creep them a little bit closer in the division and also keep them where they need. So they have a little momentum now all of a sudden. See if McLean can keep it going. And, you know, they're going to call up that Jonah Tong for Friday. So that's very exciting for Mets fans and for Baseball and Coffee fans, as we will definitely have a video breaking down Jonah Tong's Major League debut. for the Metropolitans. But yeah, I mean, now they're turning to the young guys, so we're going to see. Bergert and Savali, Kansas City and the White Sox. Ryan Nelson, Quinn Priester, Diamondbacks Brew Crew. TBA versus Sonny Gray, Pirates and Cards. Tyler Anderson versus TBA of the Rangers. Chase Dolander and the Rockies placing Framber, Valdez and Houston. Nick Lodolo and the Reds versus Shohei Ohtani on the mound and the Dodgers. So we'll see how that goes. I'm curious how they continue to build up Shohei or whether they kind of slow it down. I don't know what the plan is there. And then Giants, we got Colin Rea and Carson Wisenhunt, who I still haven't watched pitch yet. I know he's a recent call-up. Casey Mize and Luis Morales to wrap up tomorrow. So that's what we got for tomorrow. Not a whole lot. We'll go back to the solo shot as we finish out this stream tonight. Thanks for hanging with me. Does anybody know why Verlander only plays teams with orange colors? It's true. He's hit them all except for Baltimore, right? Tigers have orange in there. Obviously Houston, the Mets, and the Giants. So he just needs Baltimore to collect all the Infinity Stones or whatever of orange teams. But yeah, it's kind of weird. So they've been rolling orange for a while. Shohei fail highlights tomorrow. Well, we can all we'll see that for ourselves. But that is it, my friends. Thanks you for hanging out with me. That was a nice, very long stream late at night, so I appreciate that. But it's midnight, so I got to get my butt to sleep. All right. Thanks again for hanging, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.